one thing I can come out is saying how strong and how bold and how powerful Vanessa is. To stand up there the way she did, to give the speech the way she gave that speech, I commend her.
How did Vanessa go from being a strong and powerful woman to being called out by Lebron on IG Live? Well, it all starts with a baby bump. But Vanessa being pregnant isn't what made LeBron snap. It's the alleged father of her baby that changed everything. Let's scoop. The breaking point. LeBron James has snapped, and not in a quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of way. No, this was raw, unfiltered, and in front of people who were not ready for what they were about to hear. The basketball world is still in shock after whispers turned into roaring headlines. LeBron James confronted Vanessa Bryant, the widow of his late friend Kobe Bryant, over a pregnancy rumor that, according to insiders, he believes crosses a line that can't be uncrossed. This isn't just another petty celebrity spat. What happened here reaches deep into betrayal, legacy, and an unspoken code that even the brightest stars in the NBA are expected to uphold. In LeBron's eyes, this isn't just about Vanessa being pregnant. This is about timing. This is about respect. This is about a wound, the tragic loss of Kobe and Gianna, that in LeBron's view should still be sacred. People close to the Lakers camp are already saying this might be the most heated exchange LeBron has had since joining the team. The most shocking part? The words Kobe's legacy came up, and it did not go over well. The tension between LeBron and Vanessa didn't start yesterday. From the moment Kobe passed away, LeBron positioned himself as a guardian of Kobe's name, a role he took very seriously. This wasn't just about basketball leadership. This was about something much deeper. LeBron understood that in the wake of tragedy, someone had to step up and ensure that Kobe's memory remained untarnished, that his legacy stayed pure, and that the narrative around his life and death didn't get twisted by outside forces. Just days after the crash that claimed Kobe, Gianna, and 7 others, LeBron stood before a devastated Staples Center crowd and made it clear that this was now his responsibility to carry forward. The weight of that moment, speaking to tens of thousands of grieving fans while processing his own trauma, revealed the depth of LeBron's commitment to this new role, as he said during his emotional tribute.
The first thing that comes to mind, man, is all about family. And as I look around this arena, we're all grieving, we're all hurt, we're all heartbroken. When we're going through things like this, the best thing you can do is lean on the shoulders of your family.
Those words weren't just for show. LeBron lived them. He checked in on Vanessa, supported the Bryant children, and even praised her publicly for her strength. In those early months after the tragedy, LeBron was more than just a teammate honoring a fallen friend. He became a protective figure, someone who genuinely believed that safeguarding Vanessa and the girls was part of honoring Kobe's memory. The Lakers organization noticed LeBron's dedication to this role. Team officials have said privately that LeBron would often ask about the Bryant family's well-being, would inquire about Vanessa's state of mind, and would even suggest ways the organization could better support them. This wasn't performative. This was a man who had genuinely taken on the burden of being Kobe's earthly representative. In an interview following Kobe's memorial, he told reporters,
One thing I can come out is saying how strong and how bold and how powerful Vanessa is. To stand up there the way she did, to give the speech the way she gave that speech, I commend her.
But now, that admiration has curdled into disappointment, maybe even anger. The shift didn't happen overnight. Sources close to both camps describe a gradual cooling that began months ago, long before any pregnancy rumors surfaced. It started with subtle changes. LeBron's responses to Vanessa's social media posts became less frequent. Their interactions at team events grew more formal, and the easy warmth that once existed between them began to fade. Some insiders point to specific moments that may have triggered LeBron's growing unease. There was Vanessa's decision to settle certain legal matters related to Kobe's estate without consulting the Lakers family. There were her choices about which charities to support and which business partnerships to pursue. None of these decisions were wrong, but they suggested to LeBron that Vanessa was charting her own course, one that didn't necessarily align with his vision of how Kobe's legacy should be managed. The pregnancy rumor, then, wasn't the cause of their tension. It was the catalyst that brought all these underlying concerns to the surface. According to multiple sports gossip insiders, LeBron caught wind of the news not through Vanessa herself, but through the NBA's ever-churning rumor mill. The pregnancy, allegedly with someone completely outside the Bryant circle, had been whispered about for weeks in elite Los Angeles social circles before it hit the blogs. This method of discovery only amplified LeBron's frustration. He felt blindsided by someone he thought would confide in him about major life decisions. The first spark came when a seemingly harmless Instagram story surfaced. A champagne toast, dim lighting, and Vanessa smiling in the corner of a private dining room. Image appeared innocent enough, a successful woman enjoying an evening out. Most people scrolling past thought nothing of it, but eagle-eyed fans, trained by years of celebrity pregnancy watch culture, noticed something. Her hand, resting gently on her midsection, in that almost subconscious, protective way that expectant mothers often do. What happened next was a masterclass in how modern rumors spread. Within hours, the screenshots were all over Twitter. Celebrity gossip accounts began dissecting every pixel of the image. Someone enhanced the photo to highlight the hand placement. Another user created a side-by-side comparison with previous photos to analyze potential changes in Vanessa's appearance. By morning, the sports blogs had picked up the story. By evening, it was in the group chats of NBA wives and girlfriends, all of whom were being asked by their own social circles if they knew anything. And by the next day, it had reached LeBron James. When it finally reached LeBron, he saw red. People who know him describe his initial reaction as a mix of hurt and fury. Hurt that he wasn't informed directly, and fury at what he perceived as a potential threat to everything he'd worked to protect. In his mind, this was about more than just personal choice. This was about image, about the narrative surrounding Kobe's memory, and about how public perception could twist this into something ugly. LeBron has always been acutely aware of how stories develop in the media ecosystem. He's seen how a single narrative can define a player's legacy, how one controversial decision can overshadow decades of achievement. In the court of public opinion, a widow's new chapter so soon after tragedy is rarely judged kindly, especially when the man she lost was a legend. LeBron understood this better than most, and the thought of Kobe's memory becoming collateral damage in a media firestorm was unbearable to him. For days after hearing the rumor, LeBron reportedly struggled with how to respond. Sources say he consulted with his inner circle, including his wife Savannah and longtime advisor Maverick Carter, about whether he should reach out to Vanessa directly or let it go. The consensus was that it wasn't his place to interfere, but LeBron couldn't shake the feeling that silence would be interpreted as acceptance, and acceptance would be a betrayal of his promise to Kobe. LeBron's frustration reportedly boiled over during a private event in LA. Specifically, a charity gala that both he and Vanessa were attending. The setting made the confrontation even more dramatic. This was supposed to be a night of celebration and giving back, but it became the stage for one of the most intense personal exchanges in recent NBA history. Multiple attendees claim he confronted Vanessa directly, his voice rising to a level that drew stares from other guests. The exchange reportedly began when LeBron approached Vanessa during a quiet moment, initially asking if they could speak privately. When she declined, suggesting they talk another time, LeBron's frustration boiled over into a public confrontation that left onlookers shocked. While exact quotes from that confrontation are guarded, most witnesses are bound by social loyalties and NDAs. One source claimed LeBron's words were cutting and centered heavily on loyalty and respect for the dead. Another attendee described the tone as disappointed father figure meets protective brother, suggesting LeBron felt both personally betrayed and professionally obligated to speak up. What makes this even more complicated is the history between Vanessa and the Bryant family, and how that history shapes LeBron's current perspective. It's no secret that Kobe's parents, Joe and Pamela Bryant, were estranged from him for years. The rift began over their disapproval of his marriage to Vanessa, but it deepened over business decisions, family priorities, and fundamental disagreements about values and lifestyle. John Sally, who was close to the Bryant family dynamics, once addressed the estrangement publicly, revealing the painful reality behind the headline.
I mean, from what I understand, he wasn't really speaking to his parents for a very long time. They didn't support him marrying Vanessa, and then that never really got repaired.
That tension never fully healed, and when Kobe died, Vanessa became the sole steward of his legacy, and by extension, the gatekeeper of his image. In LeBron's eyes, that role comes with responsibilities. But there's another layer to consider. LeBron may see himself as filling the protective role that Kobe's own parents never fully embraced, making his sense of obligation even stronger. LeBron isn't just any teammate of Kobe's. He's the face of the Lakers, the league's most marketable star, and someone whose words carry enormous weight with fans and sponsors alike. His influence extends far beyond basketball. He's a cultural icon whose opinions shape public discourse. For him to openly challenge Vanessa, a widow still largely in the public's good graces, is a gamble of enormous proportions. The risk calculation is staggering. It threatens to alienate a significant portion of the fan base, particularly women and those who view Vanessa as a sympathetic figure. It opens him up to criticism from media outlets that have generally supported him throughout his career. It fractures the carefully cultivated family image that has been central to the Lakers brand since he arrived, and it potentially damages relationships with other NBA players who might see his interference as overreach. One longtime Lakers employee put it this way: LeBron sees this as his stand-up for what's right moment, even if it costs him. He's calculated the damage, and he's decided that some things are more important than public approval. The betrayal unveiled. When the whispers about Vanessa's pregnancy first hit the blogs, most people assumed, or at least hoped, the alleged father was someone far removed from the Lakers' orbit, a clean break, a new chapter, someone who wouldn't reopen old wounds or complicate the already delicate balance of honoring Kobe's memory while allowing his widow to move forward with her life. But according to multiple league insiders who've spoken off the record, LeBron isn't buying that narrative. In fact, he's convinced the man at the center of this storm is a familiar face. Someone who was close enough to Kobe to attend private dinners, business meetings, and family events. Someone who was trusted. Someone who, in LeBron's view, should have known better. And that's where the betrayal comes in. Because if LeBron's suspicions are correct, this isn't just Vanessa moving on. This is Vanessa stepping into a relationship with a man Kobe once called a friend. And in the hyper-masculine, loyalty-obsessed culture of professional basketball, that crosses a line that many consider sacred. One source, with direct ties to the Lakers organization, put it bluntly, if this is true, it's the ultimate violation. It's not just about the timing. It's about the code. You don't cross that line. Not in this league. Not with someone like Kobe. The source went on to explain that this isn't just about unwritten rules. It's about the fundamental bonds that hold the NBA community together. Bonds that transcend team affiliations and competitive rivalries. To understand why LeBron's reaction has been so visceral, you have to understand the culture inside the Lakers' inner circle and more broadly, the elite basketball community. It's not just basketball. It's loyalty politics. When you're in, your family. And when a member of that family dies, certain unspoken rules take hold. These rules aren't written down anywhere, but they're understood by everyone who matters. Rule number 1, you don't date their widow, especially if you were close enough to share a locker room, a boardroom, or a dinner table. This isn't about legal restrictions or even moral absolutes. It's about respect, about maintaining the sanctity of brotherhood, and about preserving the memory of someone who can no longer defend his own interests. Rule number 2, if you see someone breaking rule number 1, you speak up. Silence is complicity. And for someone in LeBron's position, someone who has publicly positioned himself as Kobe's torchbearer, staying quiet would be tantamount to endorsing behavior he finds reprehensible. It was like the air got sucked out of the room, the witness told The Athletic, because everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. And once that name was out there was no taking it back. The whole dynamic of the evening changed. Other guests described the uncomfortable silence that followed, with people looking at their phones, excusing themselves to the bathroom, or suddenly finding urgent conversations with other attendees. No one wanted to be caught in the middle of what was clearly a deeply personal and potentially explosive situation. Some of the speculation about this man's identity points toward individuals who had business ventures with Kobe in the years leading up to his death. We're talking multi-million-dollar projects, sports academies, production companies, endorsement collaborations. One name in particular was tied to Kobe's Mamba sports business initiatives. This man wasn't just a casual acquaintance. He was in meetings, he was at the Bryant home, he was part of the trusted inner circle that LeBron believes should be off limits forever. To LeBron, this isn't just dating the wrong guy. It's a direct breach of the same brotherhood he so passionately described at Kobe's memorial, a violation of the bonds that he believed transcended death itself.
Kobe is a brother to me. The one thing that we always shared is that determination to just want to win. They just want to be great.
Those words take on new meaning in light of the current situation. When LeBron spoke of brotherhood, he wasn't just talking about their competitive relationship or their mutual respect as players. He was talking about a bond that he believed created mutual obligations, obligations that extended to protecting each other's families, honoring each other's legacies, and maintaining respect for the sacred aspects of their relationship even after death. Behind the scenes, the fallout has already begun to spread throughout the Lakers organization and the broader NBA community. People in the Lakers front office are reportedly nervous about the distraction this could cause heading into the season, but their concerns extend beyond just basketball performance. They're worried about the team's public image, about sponsor relationships, and about the potential for this personal drama to overshadow everything else the organization is trying to accomplish. A source inside the team told ESPN, "It's not just gossip. This stuff affects team chemistry. If LeBron's mind isn't clear, it's going to show on the court. And if he feels like someone in his orbit is disrespecting Kobe, it's going to eat at him." The source went on to explain that LeBron's emotional state is a ripple effect throughout the entire organization, influencing everything from practice intensity to media availability to the general mood around the team. But the impact extends beyond just LeBron's performance. The source also hinted that other players have quietly taken sides in this conflict, creating invisible fault lines within the team. Some think LeBron's inserting himself where he doesn't belong, viewing his intervention as an inappropriate overstep that reflects poorly on his judgment and leadership. Others feel he's the only one with enough clout and courage to call out something that, in their eyes, shouldn't be happening. This division among the players creates the potential for lasting damage to team unity, regardless of how the immediate situation resolves. Vanessa, for her part, seems to be moving forward without acknowledging the drama, but her silence is feeding the speculation. LeBron, however, doesn't seem interested in letting it go. According to people close to him, he's been in contact with other members of Kobe's old circle, trying to gauge how they feel about the situation and potentially rallying support for what some are calling an intervention. These conversations have reportedly included former teammates, business partners, and even members of Kobe's extended family who remain close to the Lakers organization. But if the alleged father is who LeBron believes he is, and if this pregnancy is real, then no amount of PR spin will stop this from becoming one of the ugliest off-court dramas the NBA has seen in years. The digital war and final reckoning. If the pregnancy rumor set off fireworks behind closed doors, it's the internet that turned it into a full-blown inferno. Once screenshots of Vanessa's champagne toast hit Twitter and Instagram, the reactions split into two extremes, and the divide has only gotten uglier with time. What started as speculation has evolved into a full-scale cultural war, with battle lines drawn not just around Vanessa's personal choices, but around broader questions of grief, loyalty, and what society expects from widows. The speed at which this story spread across social media platforms was breathtaking. Within hours of the initial Instagram story, fan accounts dedicated to dissecting celebrity behavior had created detailed timelines, enhanced photos, and conspiracy theories. The hashtags tell the story of a public divided. Within 48 hours of the story breaking, #Protect Kobe's Legacy was trending alongside #Vanessa Bryant Deserves Love, each representing fundamentally different views of how grief should be managed and how legacies should be preserved. Each post became a battlefield, each comment section a war zone. The discourse quickly moved beyond rational discussion into something more primal, a battle between those who see Vanessa as a woman deserving of happiness and those who see her as the guardian of something sacred that shouldn't be compromised. Every time Vanessa uploaded a new photo, the pattern repeated, thousands of hearts and praise buried under a flood of judgment and suspicion. Some of the backlash is brutally direct. One viral tweet with over 40,000 likes read, "This is exactly why LeBron is heated. Imagine Kobe watching this from above. Nah, this ain't it." It's not just anonymous accounts. Influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers have weighed in, turning the story into content. One YouTube commentator posted a 22-minute breakdown titled "Vanessa Bryant's Pregnancy Rumor, The Truth LeBron Can't Say." The video racked up over 2 million views in 48 hours. Under Vanessa's latest Instagram post, a photo of her daughter smiling at a family barbecue, fans spotted thousands of comments ranging from supportive to downright hostile. One comment that gained traction read, "Kobe's legacy isn't just in his trophies, it's in how his wife carried his name. This ain't carrying it right." It got over 1,200 likes in less than a day. Some fans have even gone as far as to dig up past headlines and interviews, using them as ammunition. A resurfaced quote from John Sally about how Vanessa did an unbelievable job at Kobe's memorial has been shared with sarcastic captions, suggesting she's throwing it all away now.
Yeah, all of that was inside of there. I think Vanessa did an unbelievable job, let me tell you.
Others have pulled up LeBron's heartfelt words at the memorial, twisting them into a weapon against her. By this point, the story isn't just about a rumored pregnancy anymore. It's become a proxy war for deeper cultural conflicts about grief, gender, loyalty, and the public ownership of private lives. It's about two people, once united in grief, now standing on opposite sides of a widening canyon, both convinced they're protecting Kobe Bryant's legacy. And the tragedy is, in their own way, they're both right, but they're also both wrong. This conflict reveals the impossible position that public figures find themselves in when tragedy strikes. Every choice becomes a statement. Every relationship becomes a symbol. Every private moment becomes public property. For Vanessa, the burden of representing not just herself but also Kobe's memory has created a trap where any choice she makes will be interpreted through the lens of loyalty and respect. For LeBron, the fight is about principle and the weight of promises made in moments of grief. From the moment Kobe passed, he has carried himself like a man who inherited more than just the Lakers' leadership. He inherited a sacred trust, a promise to guard not just Kobe's basketball legacy, but his personal memory and family reputation. In LeBron's mind, that wasn't a throwaway line offered in a moment of emotion. It was a mission statement, a promise, a commitment that would guide his actions for years to come. And to see Vanessa make a move he feels would have made Kobe shake his head, that's a betrayal that cuts to the core of his identity as Kobe's successor and protector. But here's the cruel irony. In fighting to protect that legacy, LeBron risks becoming the one who fractures it beyond repair. Every public statement, Every leaked conversation, every hint about going public only adds more drama to a story that was supposed to be about preservation and respect. The very act of protecting Kobe's memory might be the thing that tarnishes it. For Vanessa, the fight is about survival and the fundamental right to rebuild her life after unimaginable loss. In the years since Kobe and Gianna's deaths, she has been in a constant spotlight. Every smile analyzed, every trip scrutinized, every Instagram post picked apart for clues about how she's coping. The pressure to grieve correctly, to move on at the right pace, to make choices that please both her critics and supporters has been suffocating. The truth is, grief doesn't move on anyone else's schedule. It doesn't follow public expectations or respect social media timelines. And for a widow in her position, young, wealthy, and forever connected to a beloved public figure, the pressure to live correctly is unlike anything most people can imagine. To her defenders, this isn't about disrespect. It's about reclaiming some control over her life after losing everything that mattered most. The worst part? The legacy they're both trying to protect may already be taking significant damage. Instead of celebrating Kobe's achievements, discussing his impact on basketball, or honoring his memory through positive stories, the conversation is increasingly dominated by who Vanessa might be seeing, what LeBron might say next, and whether this feud will ever be resolved. For young fans just discovering Kobe through YouTube clips and highlight reels, this might be their first real Kobe story. And it's not about his championships, his legendary work ethic, or his Mamba mentality. This shift in narrative represents exactly what both LeBron and Vanessa claim to want to prevent, yet their conflict is accelerating it. Every day this story continues, Kobe's legacy becomes more associated with drama and controversy rather than basketball excellence and inspirational achievement. The irony is devastating. Two people who love Kobe and want to protect his memory are inadvertently contributing to its distortion. So, is reconciliation possible? Some insiders think it is, but only if both parties are willing to step back from the edge and acknowledge the damage their conflict is causing. That would mean LeBron letting go of the idea that he's the sole guardian of Kobe's memory and accepting that Vanessa has the right to make her own choices, even if he disagrees with them. It would mean Vanessa acknowledging the optics of her choices and perhaps being more transparent about her decision-making, even if she believes the criticism is unfair. But others believe the damage is already done, that the fundamental differences in values and perspective are too great to bridge. One former Laker, who played with both, Kobe and LeBron, put it this way to Bleacher Report: "You can fix a misunderstanding. You can't fix a fundamental difference in values." And that's what this is. Two people who loved Kobe in completely different ways, and now they're finding out those ways don't match. The danger now isn't just that this story keeps making headlines. It's that it becomes the headline whenever Kobe's name is brought up. Every tribute, every anniversary, every ceremony honoring his memory will carry the shadow of this conflict. Future documentaries about Kobe's life might spend as much time on this post-death drama as they do on his basketball achievements. The narrative of his legacy could be permanently altered by a conflict that happened years after his death. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.